Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach and the Luke Davies Uniac appreciation page. Not so much, guys. This season sucks. I mean, what more can a guy ask for? We just finished work, and I'm like, you know what? Tonight's an exciting night of SuperCoach football. You got Tristan Cherry, you got Bontempelli, Sheasels. You know, he's had a chance to be in a bit of form. You know, people be watching McKerchie. You know, Bailey Dale, good player. People watching Ed Richards, and I tell you what. Maybe, just maybe, tonight could be the night, but my boy LDU just catches fire and just repays a bit of faith, because we know he can catch fire and have really hot months or 6-week periods of footy. And he was going okay. I mean, I don't know what he was on, but felt like he had a reasonable bit of the ball. And I actually thought he was fine because he came back on. He went down and got assessed, and then he came back on. I swear he laid a tackle like in the second quarter. I just had to restart my computer. It just fucking takes ages to get going sometimes. But anyway, we will also take a look at some of these things. I actually turned the footy off and started watching Wimbledon, but it's actually pretty close, so I might have to chuck it back on, hey. But yeah, obviously it's unlucky, but you know, God, he's been unlucky a lot. You know, 6 touches, a tackle, a couple of clearances. Yeah, he's just been unlucky a lot. Well, no, he hasn't been unlucky a lot. He's been trash a lot. But it's just, I feel like this season, without being like complaining and just venting too much, it's just like every little crossroads here or there. Just, I've seemed to have been a week behind some of the big premium scores, or just miss out on the, you know, even like Bailey Humphrey going 150 after I traded him out, Horn Francis and Bont last week, and you know, it's just, and the subs and the rookies and just, I don't know, man. Like, it's actually insane. Like, early on in the year, I was like, Davies Uniac, you know, he's having a slow year, but it's actually now like an astonishing, outrageously poor season. Like, this is a guy that a quiet year for him would have been like 100. You know, this average is going to go down to 93, I reckon, something like that. And the crazy part is, he's going to put himself into a price range that's going to have us considering him next year. We couldn't, could we? We just couldn't. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty much done with SuperCoach for the year, if I'm honest. Like, we remain hopeful, we always do, but I'm just hoping that there's 1 or 2 weeks where it just all clicks and we have a really nice finish and that. Really focusing on my SuperCoach draft. But yeah, you know, when you start thinking about players you want to pick next year, that's when you know you've checked out. So I don't know. Hopefully there'll be a few leagues that I focus in on, you know, in the coming weeks. But yeah, I mean, I haven't even looked at the teams yet, so who knows? That could have another little bit of fun for me. But nah, very frustrating. I'm just a bit over it, to be fair. But yeah, let's have a look at these teams. But yeah, you should have seen the rage when LDU got subbed off. Oh, did I crack it? Did I crack it? What? All right, what do we got here? Geez, the Blues, haven't they thrown a few axings out there? Boom, cop that. Pitnet comes back, bloody fantastic. Tom Mitchell comes back. That's a bit random. Whitfield, we knew would be out. Wow, they did drop Madden. Brought Briggs back in. Maybe a little harsh on him. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. Wow, Liddy got dropped. It's a bit of a surprise, I must admit. I thought he looked like he had reasonable job security. Butler's out injured. A few people were talking about him. Sicily comes back in. I wonder if Fife has played his last footy for the club. I just wonder. And then, yeah. So, again, really frustrating with Tyrell Dewar as well. You know, he's just been a frustration coming into the side. And I put the VC on Bont. He wasn't doing much at all. But, yeah, I think some of those Bombers kept their spot, didn't they? Johnson's still on the side, as you would expect. That's good. Where is he? Excuse me, he's on the bench. So, yeah, look. All in all, basically all I'm hoping to do, we have 5 trades left. Minimal cash. I need to upgrade probably someone like Dewar or Johnson, whoever makes the quickest cash, to a premium that's probably going to have to fall a bit. Maybe someone like Ed Richards. And then we're going to have to go LDU or Will Ashcroft to Gawn. And obviously, yeah, LDU's poor score is going to... Basically, I really need to do it in one downgrade, but I don't know. Because it'd be ideal to have 2 injury trades up my sleeve. I don't really want to be left with one. As a general rule, I sort of want to have this team, or generally speaking, my team won't. But if you can finish your team with 3 or 4 trades, 4 is perfect. You're setting yourself up nicely because there will be injuries later in the year. There will be times where players get rested and we need to make those trades. So you just want to have a couple up your sleeve. So don't leave yourself too fine. But yeah, in terms of some of the questions, like people were talking about bringing in Gawn. I would never talk you out of bringing in Gawn, but if money is really tight for you, and we know Gawn can go nuts, of course we do, but bear in mind his break-even's about 170. So if every dollar counts, you might be able to get him for 610. But as we know, he can go 170. We held off on Bont for a week. He went 170. These things can happen. But the percentage play would be to hold off and he should drop. We know those outliers can happen with the superstars of the game. Sub-primos or subpar primos. I think that was discussing, like, can we finish our side off with, you know, those premiums that maybe aren't your top-notch guys? Look, I think you can, but it's really just horses for courses. Like, for me, I really want to try and finish off this side. 2 trades left with having, generally speaking, premiums. But I've got LDU, Will Ashcroft and that sort of thing. You know, Warner, it's a bit out of form. So it really just depends. It's like someone like, say, Whitfield. I'm holding him because I just don't have the trades to be trading him out for a guy who'll be back in a week. So it really is just depending on your team, depending on your cash generation, how close you are to finishing your side in relation to your trades. I would just be building all your decisions around that to finalise a team with about 3 trades to go. So wherever you sort of fit in around that is sort of what I'd judge it around. Interesting discussion with Tom McCarthy. And a lot of people sort of talking about, could he be a D6 option? I don't want to like rain on his parade, but I would be absolutely stunned. And he's been fantastic, right? Don't get me wrong, he's been outstanding. But the odds of him, I mean, what would we need for him to be a keeper? It'd have to be 95, wouldn't it? He could come in and be a Michael Barlow type, you know, rookie, just dominate early. Look at that break even, it's ridiculous. You know, he could, but a D6, I'd be so surprised. I mean, we're talking, he's up against guys like, you know, probably Sheasel, who has been a bit, you know, inconsistent, but I want to sort of compare to someone like Ryan Marrick. And I don't know why things chop and change, but we do see players that are not established guys, not established primos and stars of the game. But look at Marrick. He had an amazing run for 8-9 weeks there. Then the roles sort of changed. Look at all those 80 plus, 90 plus and tons. Then he's gone 49, 60, 67, 48 and 87. You know, why did that change? I don't know. Maybe it was because of McCarthy potentially. But even someone like, let's use Riley Bice. You know, there was a time when we were like, wow, Bice, we could hold him for most of the season. This guy's on fire. You know, he's cutting them to shreds. 96, 124, 89, 79, 101. And then it just turns. So I'd be surprised if McCarthy can hold this form. I hope he does. Don't get me wrong. But I'd be surprised. And the reason I say that is because teams will likely put a little bit more work into him. You know, he's not going to get tagged or anything like that. But plus, it's a pretty high bar to set. Historically, we see these guys drop off a smidgen. Now, I think he could average, 90 for the rest of the year. That's pretty solid, and clearly for the price point, it's fantastic. And if you're struggling for cash, far out, you'd take a 90 from him every week, wouldn't you? But you might be up against more completed teams who maybe have a guy who's averaging 95 or really completed teams, you might have a defender who's averaging 100 plus at D6 potentially. You might have Tom Stewart, who finishes the year going 102 or something like that. So I think it's a risk to have all your eggs in the McCarthy basket. I wouldn't leave yourself short on trades and just be like, boom, he's my D6. But you could play it on the run, have him as D6 and see how he goes. Shit, if he keeps it up, fantastic. But have trades at the ready for if something changes, because it wouldn't shock me if he does throw in the odd 70 and acquired a game in the next month. I mean, I certainly hope he does, and he's taking kick-ins. The role looks fantastic. But as we know, things change. We see things change with the centre bounce, and we even see Shees will go from half forward to half back and back to half forward. Like, why do these things happen? It doesn't make sense to us, but they do change. I just wouldn't put all your eggs in the McCarthy basket and say, boom, there's my D6. Have a contingency plan if it does change, but for the moment, it looks really good. Bont, I think he's a great price. Get him in. Bit of talk about Flanders. I do not like the role. Some people, a lot of talk was like, who can I get for like under 400 or 450? There's not much. I mean, one of the questions was under 400. Honestly, the best guy under 400, I don't even really like him that much. He's probably Daniel Rioli, but there's minimal stuff there. Flanders can score, and he is a ball magnet, even in a poor position, but he hasn't hit the 100 mark at all this season, so we just can't be trusting him. Dylan Moore is actually a guy that I don't mind. Like, for the price, talk about a bit of a fallen premium that maybe could be the save, at 470. It's not super cheap, but it's pretty decent for a guy that's averaged good numbers in the past. And he's had a really good couple of weeks. Again, I wouldn't jump at him. He's not a must-have, but pretty solid. Alex Taru. This guy, he could be one for the future as well. He really looks like a really handy footballer. And I reckon we can bring him in with reasonable confidence. Same said for Rouston as well. He looks like he's got some intercepting ability. But yeah, I think I've just about given up on trying to estimate how rookies can go. It's such a lottery, almost more than ever with the sub and that type of thing. But Rouston's put together a couple of good games, and that's been with Callahan back in the team too. So that's really promising as well. So a couple of decent rookies we can take a look at. And yeah, look, honestly, I think that was just about mainly the bits I wanted to talk about. I think Gawn's clearly a great captain option. I was weighing up Bont and Cherry tonight. I think I got that wrong. Or looks like the Dogs have kicked away. Maybe I'll keep watching the tennis. But Dacos you could have a look at. Tom Green, I think, is worth a shout if you do have him. And I think he can probably end with pretty good confidence on a Bailey Smith or a Max Holmes. If I was choosing between the two, I'd actually go Bailey Smith. Just a gut feel like he's due. But yeah, so no, look, let's keep digging in there. Let's keep digging in. The round is again off to a shocking start. It was like, I try to be optimistic each and every round, and we get LDU subbed off first game of the week. And the first game last week, we had Horn Francis subbed off. It just kills you. It's just so frustrating. And, I thought, nah, we're through the buys. Be optimistic. And it just kicks you in the dick straight away. So what can you do sometimes? But I'll upload this one. And look, it is what it is. I do enjoy our live sessions we have each and every Wednesday. I certainly am not enjoying too much else in terms of SuperCoach this year. But we front up every week. We're looking forward to next season. And, yeah, we'll catch you later. Cheers, guys.